Before we hit the intro, I want to remind you to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified for all my future videos that I upload in the future. Also, don't forget to follow me on Patreon and Coffee, and follow all my social media. All the links are down in the video description down below, so don't forget to check those out. But without further ado, let's crack out and hit the intro for my thoughts on Digimon Adventure Try Part 6, Our Future. Hit the intro. Right, so Part 6's dub was interesting, not just in a sense of words, but emotions, and I think it was more emotional this time around than when I initially reviewed it. Reviewed Part 6, and that's what made me realise that I'm too attached to the English dub of Digimon from my childhood. I nitpicked, criticised some of the replacement voices, and I will now admit that it is because of my childhood and how I remembered and loved how those characters performed those voices for these characters when I was a kid, and I will happily admit that now that those criticisms go away in Part 6, and this is the conclusion. Don't get me wrong, this is the conclusion. I'm not going to go full on in a review on Digimon Adventures Try Part 6 Our Future, because I've already done the review. You can even check the title card that will be here, will be there, or yeah, will be an image there of the thumbnail, and you can check out my full-on review, and there will also be an iCard as well. But this dub has literally changed the way I portray or thought about how everything's gone in. I have got my criticisms, but that will come into the final thoughts in the English dub, because the criticisms now are more how I felt like this was a rushed production, and seems like they didn't try. There might be more behind the scenes, but it felt more like a rushed production. But like I said, I will get more into that later on in the final thoughts on the English dub as a whole video itself. It will be its own entity, its own video. This one, I was literally in tears. Definitely when Agumon showed up in his memory banks and showing all the memories that were flooding back to him from Digimon Adventures 02 and all the adventures he's had, all up to the point of now, up to this film, literally got me into the stages of wow. Just wow. I don't know much about what went on, but all seeing all those like hints of memories flooding back and everything, and the dialogue used by Tom Farn was just wow. And I just had flashbacks being a child watching Digimon on Saturday, because we had repeats Monday to Friday, but it always seemed that new episodes always aired on Saturday for Digimon, and Sunday as well in the UK, if I remember correctly. And just hearing Tom Farn remembering all these was great. Some of the voices didn't really give me that same feel, because like I said, some of the original voice actors did not return to voice voice their roles. So we didn't get the original Biomon, we didn't get the original Gatomon voice back. They're the only two main, but the majority of the English casts Digimon did return. So from Agumon, Gabumon, Palmon, Patamon, and Gomamon, and hearing them speaking and getting all their memories back in English was just an interesting situation, and it really reminded me how much I love this show, love this franchise, and everything, and the portrayal of this is really, really well done and portrayed. Kirk Thornton, or Kirk Thorne, it's either Kirk Thorne, Gabumon, I think his voice was slightly off during his conversation with Matt, and it was that emotional conversation during the whole grieving of Ty, and didn't know what to do because Ty wasn't there type of a moment. It literally felt like it was off and everything. It didn't sound quite as he was in Avenger or in all the other parts, because all the other parts he literally did bring back his A game and bring back the voice of Gabumon that we remembered and what we all know and love. So it's nothing to do with that. I think it was probably strained, but it was slightly off. There's some points that I mentioned in the English dub I know in the original into the original review, and that was about portrayals of characters and thoughts. After watching this again, I couldn't feel anything for Mei or Meikumon in a whole, because there was rarely any character development within Mei at all, I think, and I couldn't really feel much. Meikumon just felt like she was brought in to be the protagonist of the film and was made to make us emphasize of this new Digidestin that just came up, the 9th member, to emphasize with her, and that she's been going through problems because of how Meikumon is and acts and everything like that, and it just didn't, and I didn't feel sympathy for her at all. I do like how some of the English dub incorporates some words that are iconic to these roles, to these characters in the English dub. I love that they managed to keep on getting Izzy to say prodigious. It's one of those cheesy catchphrases, but when it comes to the Digimon dub, and it's Izzy, you do expect Izzy to say it, because Izzy's character in the English dub, his catchphrase has and always will be prodigious, and that's just me. And I think a lot of people agree that prodigious is his catchphrase. If they didn't get Mona Marshall back to voice Izzy then, and it was somebody else, and they didn't get Izzy to say prodigious at all, then I think a lot of us that grew up with the dub and will really do feel like it wasn't the same character. Because I will talk more about my final thoughts on the English dub later on in the actual final thoughts video, because these thoughts are meant to coincide with watching my initial reviews of Try as well. So you get the review of Try, what I think of Try, and then you also got the English dub thoughts video as well. Because they weren't released simultaneously, you couldn't really get it going like this. But this is the case where it is here. So overall, part 6 was slightly better, and I think I enjoyed part 6 a lot more than I did parts 2 to 4. No, parts 2 to 5. The reason why I didn't mention part 1 is because part 1 was meant to bring us back and be reintroduced to the characters, and there's a lot of nostalgia with having Joshua Seth as Ty in that one, along with Tom Farnes' Agumon in that part, that literally makes it one person I do not like and I think it just completely out of character. But I did accept it because of how this character was, and that is Todd Hempercorn as the Digimon Emperor. I know that he's not he's not Ken. He's not the Digimon Emperor. He's not Ken, so to speak. So I can't judge him as voicing Ken at this age. That he should be he should be roughly the same age as Kari and TK. So I can understand that that this is meant to be Genai in disguise. So right. But if Todd Hempercorn is the voice of Ken in future releases of Digimon where the 02 cast are having a much more bigger role, then I would accept it, because he could voice an older Ken. He could voice Ken at the age he is now. I can see Todd voicing Ken because his voice does remind me of David Stephen Prince, or is it Stephen David Prince? The original voice of Ken. I can see Todd be able to make his voice sound like an older version of the original voice actor. I think it was Stephen Prince, or Stephanie Prince, or Stephen Prince. Can't remember, but I can see him voicing an older version of that characters. If Todd is going to be the definitive voice of Ken from now on. Tara Strands, I will say it one more time. She started it. It literally was for the first few seconds when she was in grievance and mad that it was all her fault, blaming herself. I felt like that was Lara J. Miller again, and then it just went boom. But I will accept that those type of voice mannerisms can vanish when you grow older. So the mannerisms, so if I think of Kari as a person and growing up now, I will accept that her weird speech pattern, with that weird, it had like a weird click to the speech, like a weird clickiness, not clickiness, but it's hard to explain, but it had that uniqueness. But I can accept that if you grow older, that can sometimes vanish when you grow older, to the point where it could still linger there but be vanished completely. And I'll have to admit that Tara Sands has officially now made Kari her own. She grew into the character. She grew into the character throughout parts 1 to 6, and she has now made that character her own, and I accept her as Kari at this point because of how I think like I mentioned at the beginning, it was the dub that literally made me go, why didn't they get the original voice actors back? Nostalgia goggles were fogging up. Nostalgia goggles were fogging up, and it just didn't really resonate with me, and that's why it was very hard for me to accept everything that was going on in the English dub, and accepting everything that has happened and what went through the processes. But I'll be talking more about my thoughts on how the dub was handled a little bit more in the final bit. This was mainly to pick up. Vic Mignogna has now officially grew into Matt to me. He is now the voice of the older Matt. If you take off the nostalgia and you think of Matt progressing and growing as a character, as a human being from his voice from Adventure 1 to Adventure 2 till now, you can see the voice progressing to that voice now. You can see. Same with Johnny Young Bosch Bosch. You can see TK's voice. He made it into his own. After hearing all his interviews about the character and how he went into the role, and I look back, he's right. There wasn't really much to take from TK in the original 2 series, what he couldn't really bring, because there was no foundation there. Because we had a female voicing TK as a child, and then we had Doug Erolt voicing TK in season 2. So when you try and think of that, you need to follow on from this, try to mimic this voice actor. You can't really, when he only voiced him for 1 season, and he really didn't do TK, and there wasn't really no foundation there when you do the research, as he probably didn't try hard enough or watch any clips, but he made TK his own into this, and that was really great as well. Well, this turned more into a final thoughts video, but this is the last part of Try, so I want to give my final thoughts on the characters' performances before I go on my full-on thoughts on the productions and everything in its own separate video with my full-on final thoughts of the English dub. So, I forgot to add the transition to taking a look at the DVD collection set of Part 6 from the UK. So, let's crack to the review station and let's hit it. There. Okay, so here we have the packaging. Like all the others, this is the first that is literally out of place. Mainly due to how everything is. We've got the second theatrical poster on the front here, because with Part 6 they released 2 posters. We have the blue poster with every bird trying to capture May, who's falling down, and then we have this one that reveals Omnimon in merciful mode. So we've got the collector's edition Blu-ray on the top, like all the others. We've got Chapter 6 Our Future, so they're going with the full Japanese title with Our Future. And then at the bottom, we have the logo of Digimon Adventures Try, manga, Toei, animation logos down here, and PG rating on there. The side just says Digimon Adventures Try, with 6, the same logos that we saw at the front as well, and blue on the top. Back is a light blue colour with the Digimon Adventures Try logo, Chapter 6 Our Future. It's set out like the Japanese packaging with all the legalese down the bottom here, and like the rent age and barcode and images and all that. So once you take it out of the sleeve, as you can see, like I've always done, we have it in the reverse sleeve, so there's no like barcodes or logos on the front to distract the image, but we've got the first poster as the cover here we've got Omnimon, all the other Digimon, minus all the other Digidestined Digimon, so Patamon, Gatomon, Biomon, Palmon, Tentomon, Gomamon, all there because Omnimon's in here, so he's representing Agumon and Gabumon there. So that's the front. On the spine here we have Digimon Adventure Try Part 6 being completely blank as well, like always, and then it goes full on white, so it does a complete reverse, and we've got cell shots or screenshots of scenes from the actual film with the description there and all the legalese there and the special features. Now open it up, we've got a nice light blue case here, disc, with Digimon Adventures Try, Chapter 1 Our Future, with all the detail and information that we need here. And as you can see, in this blue case, you can see the other case that has all the information that you need on to have it sold on the store shelves there. Now we have the next bit, so we move those off to the side and put that off to the side as well. We've got the art cards, so we can open this up, take a look at these art cards.
These are very nice art cards because all the other ones have been several Digimon things. These are little like nice art cards that we've probably seen in that have popped up in various Japanese magazines anyway. So we've got one. We've got one of the Digidestineds here in their school uniforms as well, and just keep continuity's sake, I think what ended up happening, and I've always considered this, that Joe was, because in 02 Joe was wearing this uniform that the main 5 kids are wearing. Main 5? Yeah, main 5 that we know wearing, and Joe wore this in season 2, but it wasn't really like this in this design and colours, but it was animation back there. And we have seen Tai and Sora and Matt wearing the uniforms that TK and Kari wearing in season 2, so it just shows that they are going through the same school. So nice little artwork there. We then get a nice image of the Digimon in a nice like Digivice circle at the background, and then the evolution scene background image as well. We've got the like copyright information not for sale on both of these cards. Now this is a fun one. This was the original image that was going to be used for part 3, but later they decided to swap it out for the image that we ended up getting. But this was the original part 3 image that we're going to do, so that was a nice little Easter egg there, that this was the original shot to use, but it's glad that we got it in a nice little art card instead, and it looks really, really cool. This one here, I think, is getting used with some rearrangement being used for the cover of the 1 to 6 collection in the UK, so stay tuned for that. I might be doing a product review on that as a whole, but that'll be later on when money is available. But that is it for the art cards. Next here we have the poster, and this is where we are going to go for aerial mode. We have the poster, pretty much a big version of what we get on the cover, with like all the detail information there. Readjust, re-signed image here. Here it's just pretty much a more bloated up version of what we got. So let's crack down back to face forward, and let's also head back to the main part of the review.
So yeah, that is it for the cover. So not much left to say, but 6 is one of the better tri-dub. It was a better. It's like everybody finally grew into their characters and finally being able to bloom into their characters in part 6, where I think it was all stepping stones. Unless you weren't originally part of the franchise all the way back to season 1, then you can't fault them. The new voice characters, the new voice actors that stepped into these characters' shoes, these 6 films, or the first 5 films, were like stepping in progression, and they were progressing from film to film, and then they finally reached to their peak of these characters in part 6. So part 6 is one of the better dubs of Digimon Adventures Tri, and I still back it up. All my critiques and criticisms I had from parts 1 to 5 are still going to be there. Part 6 I think is perfect. Story-wise, I will tell you now, is not great, because after watching all of it back in dub, the story ain't perfect, and I'll get into that into a much more in-depth English dub thought video, along with a new reinvented, re-envisioned, rethought, re-evaluation of Tri as a whole video as well. That will be part of the final thoughts of English dub as well. There will be attached to that, and this is pretty much the end of Digimon Adventures Tri's series. English dub thoughts and the reviews in whole, they will be both in playlists in their order. So I will have a new playlist up that will have the Tri movies along with the thoughts videos, and it will go and play back with the review, then the dub, and then it will keep on going like that. So you get my thoughts on you get the full film review, and then you get a follow-up video that will be the dub. So these dub thoughts videos are essentially 0.5s. They literally, because I'm coming back into these films and watching them again with English speaking language, and I'm giving you my thoughts of how it went, how the dub went, how it went between Japanese and everything like that. That's the whole point. And this is all my opinion. So yeah, that is pretty much it. So I've been your host, Kai from Kai's Take Corner, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now. See ya. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed the last part of my English dub thoughts video of Digimon Adventures Try. Like always, if you want to check out my other past videos, you can do right here. You can check out my thoughts on part 5, and then you can also check out the playlist as well. And like I said at the beginning of the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to be notified for any future video releases that come up on my channel. And don't forget to support me on Patreon, Coffee, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. All links are down in the video description down below. But other than that, enjoy the rest of your day. See you later. Bye.